A guy goes in for a doctor's visit. The doctor says, "What seems to be the problem?" And the guy says, "Every morning I wake up at 5 o'clock, roll over, and have sex with my wife. Then I shower and shave, and we have sex again on the breakfast table. Then my ride-sharing partner blows me on the way to work. When I get to the office, I have sex with the receptionist and spend my coffee break in the supply closet getting a blowjob from my secretary. My ride-sharing partner blows me again on my way home, and I have sex with my wife after dinner. So, what's the problem?" asks the doctor. And the guy says, "It hurts when I jerk off." A salesman rings the doorbell and Johnny answers. Salesman: "Can I see your dad?" Johnny: "No, he's in the shower." Salesman: "What about your mother? Can I see her?" Johnny: "Nope. She's in the shower too." Salesman: "Do you think they'll be out soon?" Johnny: "Doubt it. When my dad asked me for the Vaseline, I gave him super glue instead." "So, how was your holiday in Africa?" "Don't remind me," says the other. "I very nearly got myself killed." "Go on, what happened?" he asks. "Well, I was hiking in the savannah when a lion appeared out of the blue and started chasing me. I ran for my life, but the lion kept getting closer, and then just as it was about to pounce for the kill, it suddenly slipped and broke its leg." "You are really a brave guy. I would shit in my pants," he replies. "What do you think the lion slipped on?" John decided to go skiing with his buddy, Keith. So they loaded up John's minivan and headed north. After driving for a few hours, they got caught in a terrible blizzard. So they pulled into a nearby farm and asked the attractive lady who answered the door if they could spend the night. "I realize it's terrible weather out there, and I have this huge house all to myself, but I'm recently widowed," she explained. "I'm afraid the neighbors will talk if I let you stay in my house." "Don't worry," John said. "We'll be happy to sleep in the barn. And if the weather breaks, we'll be gone at first light." The lady agreed, and the two men found their way to the barn and settled in for the night. Come morning, the weather had cleared, and they got on their way. They enjoyed a great weekend of skiing. But about 9 months later, John got an unexpected letter from an attorney. It took him a few minutes to figure it out, but he finally determined that it was from the attorney of that attractive widow he had met on the ski weekend. He dropped in on his friend Keith and asked, "Keith, do you remember that good-looking widow from the farm we stayed at on our ski holiday up north about 9 months ago?" "Yes, I do," said Keith. "Did you, happen to get up in the middle of the night, go up to the house, and pay her a visit?" "Well, yes," Keith said, a little embarrassed about being found out. "I have to admit that I did." "And did you happen to give her my name instead of telling her your name?" Keith's face turned beet red and he said, "Yeah, look, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm afraid I did." "Why do you ask?" "She just died and left me everything." An 18-year-old Italian girl tells her mother she missed her period for 2 months. Very worried, the mother goes to the pharmacia, drugstore, and buys a pregnancy test. She brings it to her daughter who takes the test. The test result shows that the girl is pregnant. Shouting, cursing, crying, the mother says, "Who was the pig that did this to you? I want to know." The girl picks up the phone and makes a call. Half an hour later, a Ferrari stops in front of their house. A mature and distinguished man with gray hair and impeccably dressed in an Armani suit steps out of the Ferrari and enters the house. He sits in the living room with the father, mother, and the girl and tells them, "Good morning. Your daughter has informed me of the problem. I can't marry her because of my personal family situation, but I'll take charge. I will pay all costs and provide for your daughter for the rest of her life. Additionally, if a girl is born, I will bequeath a Ferrari, a beach house, 2 retail stores, a townhouse, a beachfront villa, and a $2 million bank account. If a boy is born, my legacy will be a couple of factories and a $4 million bank account. If twins, They will receive a factory and $2 million each. However, if there is a miscarriage, what do you suggest I do?" At this point, the father, who had remained silent, places a hand firmly on the man's shoulder and tells him, "You fucker again." A man's been drinking at the bar all day when he suddenly checks the time. 1:30 a.m.? Oh no, my wife's gonna kill me. He tries to stand up. Bam! Falls straight to the floor. Okay. I just need to sober up. He orders a coffee, drinks it, waits 30 minutes, then tries again. Thud. Falls even harder. At this point, he knows standing isn't an option, but he's got to get home somehow. So he does the only thing he can. He starts crawling. After 40 minutes of crawling like a lost turtle, he finally makes it home, sneaks into bed next to his, thankfully, sleeping wife, and passes out cold. The next morning, his wife wakes him up with that look. "So, how was last night? Did you have fun drinking all day?" Thinking she has no idea, he plays it cool. "Me? Nah, just a couple beers with coworkers." She nods. "Oh, okay." Then, as she's walking away, she stops, turns back, and smirks. "By the way, the bar owner called." "Your wheelchair's still there, genius." A teacher is teaching a class, and she sees that Johnny isn't paying attention, so she asks him, "If there are 3 ducks sitting on a fence and you shoot one, how many are left?" Johnny says, "None." The teacher asks, "Why?" Johnny says, "Because the shot scared them all off." The teacher says, "No, 2, but I like how you're thinking." Johnny asks the teacher, "If you see 3 women walking out of an ice cream parlor, one is licking her ice cream, one is sucking her ice cream, and one is biting her ice cream, which one is married?" The teacher says, "The one sucking her ice cream." Johnny says, "No, the one with the wedding ring, but I like how you're thinking." An employee called his boss and said, "Boss, I'm too sick to come in today. Headache, stomach ache, legs hurt. I just can't do it." The boss replied, "When I feel that bad, I go home and make passionate love to my wife. Works every time. I feel great and get right back to work. You should try it." 2 hours later, the employee calls back, "Boss, you were right. I feel amazing. I'll be in soon. Oh, and by the way, you've got a really nice house." A man goes to hell aired. The devil greets him and says, "You have to pick your torture. Pick wisely because this will be your torture for eternity." The man goes through hundreds of rooms but can't decide until he sees a room where a man is sitting on a couch, watching football on TV and getting a job from a cheerleader. The man says, "This is what I want to do for eternity." The devil says, "Are you sure?" The man screams, "Hell yes!" The devil goes up to the cheerleader and says, "You can stop now. I found someone to replace you."